Chelsea Arsenal. Another one for the books. Uh, you know, coming up to this game this weekend, what I was thinking about, or I just thought of through the week, is I went back to those days maybe a couple of years ago, 7, 8, 10 years, but looking to the days of Drogba when each time we were playing against Chelsea, I would be petrified. And I think the fear became worse because it felt like with each game, the defeat just became terrible. Like there was the 6-0, there's the 5-1, here and there, and 3-0 at Emirates. And how Drogba just bullied our defenders. God, Senderos, Giroud. But I think we're now in a good place. The past couple of seasons, Arsenal has been able to turn that table around. And it's now the turn of Chelsea fans to be scared of Arsenal. I still want Arsenal to do more. What I want, not in the case of Arsenal, but I want an Arsenal player to so dominate and choke Chelsea the way Drogba did us. That will be gratifying for me. So that's what I want. Well, to the purpose of this video today, I am just going to be looking at how this game I think would pan out, and hopefully at the end of the video be able to put out my score prediction, and let's see if that's what would happen come Saturday. So yeah, looking at Chelsea, looking at Arsenal, I think Arsenal, of course, going back this season, Arsenal has been on form. Chelsea, the past couple of games, have been able to, put a couple of wins together. I think it's about 3 wins on the trot for Chelsea in all competitions now. And historically, looking at this game over the past 5 games, I think Arsenal has won 3 or 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken, and Chelsea's won 1. So that's something good for Arsenal. It means that Arsenal has something going. But I do think that this game will be different. Why? Because Chelsea now, I think they're gradually getting their confidence back. They found their scoring boots, and that's going to be interesting on Saturday. However, for Arsenal has been excellent away from home this season. I think barring the Champions League defeat to Lens, Arsenal hasn't lost a game or even considered a goal away from home. So it will be an interesting one to watch. I think Chelsea have been able to, they're trying things, and I think they're kind of gradually figuring it out, because I think Borja has come into the lineup instead of Nicholas Jackson. They're tweaking things here and there, and they wouldn't want to lose to Arsenal come Saturday, because ahead of that game is a tricky run of fixtures. I think they have Brentford, Spurs, Man City, Man U in the span of 5 games after playing Arsenal. So to Chelsea, this is a very important game, and it's one to kind of make a statement. It's a game that gives them the opportunity to make a statement if they win. For Arsenal, on the other hand, I think the margin for dropping points are quite slim, especially when you have City breathing down your neck. Last season was case in point. We at a point in the season, we had about a 7-point lead, and even at that, City was still able to come and overtake and win the league. So I think that Arsenal can't afford to underrate Chelsea in this game. I think you have to respect Chelsea, that yes, Chelsea is a good team, and any Premier League team on its day can cause havoc. Arsenal needs to have that at the back of their mind, but also knowing that you can't afford to drop points. I think this season, Arsenal has been, yes, the away form has been good, but Arsenal has been in positions to win games this season and they have dropped points. Fulham, Tottenham. Those two games, Arsenal were in the lead and they, one way or the other, they were pegged back to a draw. So I think Arsenal needs to look at those games, and look at where their target, their goal, which is to win the Premier League, and say, you know what, because of our goal, this game is really important, and this is the kind of game you want to use and start building on a run of wins. So you win this game, and I think the run of fixtures Arsenal have next are quite favorable. So you just want to win this and accumulate as many wins as you can on the bounce. So I don't think Arsenal should want to play with this. And having said that, is why I believe this game is going to be a very tough one. It's going to be really tactical, because Pochettino, of course, everyone knows about Pochettino. He's a very tactical coach, and he understands what he needs to do to make this team play the way that he would want them to play on the day. And I think they're beginning to understand his tactics with the team. Just looking at the last three games and how they've been able to perform in those games. Chelsea's only played Liverpool, I believe, as one of the top 6 teams they've played this season, and that was a 1-1 draw, if I'm not mistaken. That was even the opener, I believe. So it's not going to be easy for Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. I think the fans are going to be way behind Chelsea, because this is a London derby again. So there are a lot of things that you could throw form away. You could throw performance away, and on the day is about what team shows up. So I think this is what it's going to be about. It will be Kai Havertz's return to Stamford Bridge. I'm not a big fan of Kai Havertz. Left to me, if I was Arteta, I wouldn't start Kai Havertz. But there's just something about when players face their old clubs, they tend to perform. So probably bring him in the second half. But Arteta can be stubborn sometimes, because I think he wants to prove a point that he made a good signing in Kai. But right now, he's not just doing it for me. He has to prove me wrong. Kai Havertz hasn't done it for me. Maybe this is the game for him to turn things around. So you have that. And if we're just going to lineups then, especially for Arsenal, I think the lineup that will help Arsenal win this game, Raya can be back in goal. I think Raya should be back in goal. He's not, apart from the game against Lens, I think he's been all right. He's been good. He's kept clean sheets in the Premier League so far. So, he can start. Then the back four should remain as is, with Gabriel Saliba, Ben White, and Zinchenko. I think I'm fine with that back four. Midfield, which is where one has to just look and say, okay, who do I play? But what I think I'm going to do, if I were Arteta and if I was picking this team, I would play both Partey, provided he's fit, and Declan Rice in the midfield. I'll play Partey just ahead of the defense, as that pivot and as that shield before the defense. And I would move Rice to the left side of the midfield so he can make those runs and he can disrupt play before it even gets to Partey. Because I think there's just that flair. It's that deep playmaker role that Partey has, and that potential for him to break the press, that you just need him there. He's that person that you want him receiving the ball from the defenders, from the back four, and he has the ability to beat two players at a goal who are pressing, and that just doing that can just destabilize any team, and before we're on a good attack. So for me, I think I would play both Partey and Rice in the middle of the field, and Odegaard, of course, playing in the 10 role, to complete that trio of the midfield. Then, of course, on the flanks, Martinelli, of course, I think he has to start, considering I think he has a good record against Chelsea. He has a good record against Chelsea, and he will be pumped from his performance against City. So I think play Martinelli on the right. I would definitely, however, be looking to bring in I forgot his name now. Oh my God, can't believe I forgot his name. My days. Anyways, when I remember, I'll come back. But the sub coming from Martinelli. Then, of course, Bukayo Saka on the right and Jesus through the middle. I think if we were to play that team, we would dominate Chelsea. That team would be too difficult for Chelsea to break. Albeit, Chelsea would really stay solid because they wouldn't want to concede. So they wouldn't be much of a threat on the attack, but Arsenal will need to do a lot more to break them down and score the goal. So I think that's the starting lineup I see on the day. Arteta, of course, however, it's his hand. He might decide to play Kai Havertz, might decide to play Edin Ketia in place of Jesus. I don't know, but let's see how it pans out. And I can't predict Chelsea's starting lineup, but I think they'll bring a strong lineup. I know they are facing a couple of injuries right now, so it's going to be difficult for them. I think it's Arsenal to take advantage of those injuries, and that's what football and sports is all about. Take advantage of your opponent's weakness. I think that might come into play a little bit, but of course Chelsea playing at home with the fans, it's going to be a very, very, raucous atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. So that will be in the sense be the 12th man for Chelsea. So yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a dicey game. In terms of who the danger man is for both teams on the day, I think for Arsenal, I would choose Martinelli as the danger man. I think he's scored a couple of goals at Stamford Bridge now, and he relishes those big games. He's back from injury, but he's also had a couple of weeks to rest and recuperate. So I think it's going to be fresh. I believe him playing against Chilwell on the left. It's a Chilwell now. I don't know who's on the right for Chelsea. For Chelsea, it's just not going to be. It's going to be difficult for whoever is playing right back for Chelsea on the day. And I know Reece James is injured at the moment, so it'll be an interesting watch. So I think Martinelli would be the danger man and the person to watch out for Arsenal. And for Chelsea, I think it's easy and it's obvious. The danger man for Chelsea will be Raheem Sterling. I think Pochettino in the last couple of games is playing to his strengths and has moved Sterling out wide, and that gives him the opportunity to spread the team, make the team wider, and spread the opponents wide, which I think he'll be looking to do. So he's a threat when he's always coming in from that wide right of the field. So he can score from there. He can make driving runs. He can make assists. So I think there's a potential danger from Sterling on the day. So those are my two, threats from both teams on the day. Now, coming to what my score prediction would be. Of course, as an Arsenal fan, it's not a case. I think it's going to be a win for Arsenal. However, I believe it's going to be a marginal win. Just because Chelsea is going to be solid on the day. I think Chelsea would prefer to have a draw. So with that at the back of their mind, they won't be too adventurous going forward. However, I think they will sit back and be solid and happy for a draw. So it's left to Arsenal to break them down, which will be a tough task if you ask me. So that way, I think there will be few goals, and my score prediction for this game is a 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. So come Saturday, let's see if what pans out. That's what I emphasize, a 1-0 win for the Arsenal. Come on, Gunners. Come on, you Gunners. Let's do it.